Hi. Um, Tonight I'm back and I'm gonna be talking about working on a power of attorney wills and living wills and all of that. Um, it was beneficial for me having a power of attorney. Of course, it doesn't work after the person has passed away, but it helps with information before they pass away. And that's just like with bank account information. It helps with information at the doctor's office when you're taking them to the doctor and you need information from them. Um, it helps with a lot of stuff. Um, but after the person has passed away, the power of attorney is no longer valid. Um, that's why they need a will. So I guess what I want to speak on tonight is make sure before a person becomes incapacitated that are and even before that, if they're like elderly and they have like dementia or something like that, kind of like before it gets that stage. I mean, you should have a plan with your family, your loved ones, to talk about like a will and stuff like that. And it makes everything easier because everything is in the will, so it's like to the straight to the point. Um, and it just makes everything go smooth, because if you don't have a will, then people can fight you, like other family members and things like that. But if you do have a will and you put specific things that who you want things to go to and how you want things handled, then they can't, if they do contest it, or make sure. And then also on the will, just make sure there's a clause if a person tries to contest the will, that they, is their portion is cut out. But what I would suggest is don't be afraid to talk to a person about a will. It doesn't mean that they're dying. It's just a preparation. Like you prepare for everything else. Um, and that's something real good to to speak with um, um, your loved ones about, and draw up one yourself. And I'm gonna go back, and the power of attorney to medical power of attorney, not just a power of attorney, because if you just have a regular power of attorney, that doesn't help with the doctors and the hospitals and anything like that and making decisions. You need a medical power of attorney. So you can look online and do your own research and see what type of power of attorneys are out there. But most definitely a medical power of attorney, because I had a regular power of attorney and I also needed a medical power of attorney. And just so I'm gonna go back to the will. In the will, need to detail things that they have, their property and vehicles and things like that. Bank accounts, all kind of stuff like that. And if there's any changes, like update the will. If there's any changes to the vehicle, any changes to the property, and they move or whatever, be sure to update the will. And make sure, I would suggest that everybody who's in the will, they get to see it and just know what they're looking at or what they're up against. Also, I would put in the will how you want your funeral handled. What do you want? Because of course when you pass away, people just they start doing anything. So that's what I would suggest. But just don't be afraid to talk about it, because then when the person is gone, then it's like a struggle. Make sure you too know about also insurance policies, and and just and tell your loved ones where your things are, just in case something happened. They can readily find it, even if you have a safe deposit box, or you at the bank, or you have a specific place at your home, I'm sorry, where you leave the information. They need to know that. They need to know where the things are, just in case anything happens. Policy numbers, they need to know all that. Sometimes people even go so detailed in the will of like what funeral home, where they're going to be buried, or people already have a what you can call a pre-need, which is a they prepay for burial. They're not even sick or anything, they just pay so somebody don't have to come up with like having a fish fry or something like that to bury the person. I guess this video is going to cover a lot. It's going to cover wills and burial insurance and life insurance and all that. So that can be wrapped. Just make sure you get, make sure the person, if you have life insurance, if you're able to get it, it's cheap. You know, you can cut out some of your expenses to have that, because it can be very expensive to bury a person. And sometimes that's why a lot of people go cremation, and that can still be expensive. To cremate a person, because sometimes, you know, it's just only one person, and if it's 3,000, 5,000, whatever, they don't have it, and then now you have to ask people, and that's just something that's just kind of hard, kind of embarrassing to just make sure you have that, all that information, and make sure whoever needs to know, they know where it's located. That's most important. Because when you're trying to, you know, you're so emotional when a person passes away, you don't have time to, you know, your emotions all over the place. You don't know what to do. You don't know where things are. And just so you won't be any confusion, let everybody know what their role is, and get a will, because that's the easiest thing. And just also put a clause in there. You know, you never know how people get when about death, or when, you know, death happens. People tend to get greedy and, you know, selfish, or it just turns into something crazy. So a will definitely is cheap to you can get a lawyer to do a will. I mean, where I'm at in Texas, it could range anywhere from $200 to $300 to, you know, $400. You know, it's not $500. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. Just make sure that you know that you have specific information in it, and be sure to, you know, to update everything. Tonight video is kind of short, but be sure to drop down in the comments if there's something else that you want to talk about. Also, I think maybe Wednesday might be the day that I come and I talk more. That might be the day that I choose. Like I said, if there's anything else that you want me to talk about, just drop down in the comments. Thanks.